1862. So that kind of blew me away right there. And by seeing that, I brought that back, the concept and everything of that. And it kind of got me going with history a little bit. I basically started out, before I even started taking pictures or any kind of interview, was when I played with the McMinnville Rockets from 63 to basically when I went in, and sometimes when I take vacation, I'd come and play afterwards. And I was talking to some of the guys. We were just out in the yard talking, and I wanted to find out the Rockets, when did they start out?
The MyUsage app is a way to conveniently pay online, anytime, day or night. You can also come by any Caney Fork Electric office and sign up for the prepay option available using the MyUsage app. Know exactly how much electricity is used each day and the cost. Best of all, no monthly bill. You can set up email or text alerts, keep track of your usage, and pay your bill, all with the MyUsage app from Caney Fork. Caney Fork Electric, keeping you informed.
Community TVTN is brought to you by Security Federal Savings Bank, proudly serving the community we call home.
Grace Family Pharmacy announces new medication packaging service. It provides a simpler, safer medication experience through convenient, personalized packaging using the latest in pharmacy robotics. We're located at 357 West Main Street. Our phone number is 931-473-6418.
McMinnville, you're a great place to be. McMinnville, Tennessee. Such a time as this, I was made for this.
Not many things last a lifetime, but when they do, there's something special. Dr. Pepper. Good for life, good for the community.
Stay tuned as Community Spotlight puts the camera on another exciting story.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Community Spotlight. I am Jonathan Womack, and we're so glad that you joined us as we bring you to an exciting show as we have our guest, Mr. Wayne Wolford. Wayne, thank you so much for joining us on this edition.
Thanks for having me.
Our topic today is Black history locally, and we would like to invite you to stick around and hear some of the amazing stories that you might not have known before. I know that we're just going to touch just on a few things throughout the show that you probably may have never heard of before, so hope you'll stick around. To start off things, I want to introduce Wayne, who has over 20 years of experience from the military. He has a long list of achievements throughout his life that he's been a part of. He has also been a barber, owned a barber shop, and these are just some of the few things that I can mention in the time amount that we have. Also, commander of American Legion Post number 208, assistant coach for high school track, football, and softball, and also currently still the pace sitter staff. And beyond that, there's a whole lot more things that we're going to get in during the show, and Wayne's going to get to tell us about it. On and off camera, most people may know Wayne. If you haven't had the opportunity to work with Wayne, I was blew away the first time that I actually got to work with him, and he has a atmosphere about him that I love, and I know that from past experience getting to interview him before, Wayne, you have had some awesome achievements in your life. I know that your heart is in the community, and I like seeing individuals like that. The only way that we can preserve the history that has been of our local past in Warren County is to preserve it with not only writing books, but also telling stories from generation to generation, and also getting them on video. And so here for the next several months, Wayne is volunteered his time, and I guess it's something that he has done for many, many years, is also preserving history. And so he's joined us in trying to do that and telling us on this show just a little bit of the aspect of Black history. Starting off, Wayne, where do we want to begin when we talk about Black history in this community? Some of the places and things and people that has really been very important in the Black history of Warren County.
Well, we could start out. My wife and I went to Washington, D.C. 1 month before 9/11. And we were looking at the Smithsonian, went to different Smithsonian arenas. And we actually saw one that had Black history there and had a map of Tennessee. It had small dots that covered the entire state, and the dark color dots represented 200 slaves in each one of the counties. The map was, Tennessee was only this long, and the dots were about that big, and it was covered. And then it had a lighter color, more of a pink color, that represented 200 free slaves. And you'd only see one or two or three of them throughout the whole state. And that was really weird. That was before the Emancipation Proclamation in 1862. So that kind of blew me away right there. And by seeing that, I brought that back, the concept and everything of that. And it kind of got me going with history a little bit. I basically started out, before I even started taking pictures or any kind of interview, was when I played with the Macmillan Rockets from '63 to basically when I went in, and sometimes when I take vacation, I'd come and play afterwards. And I was talking to some of the guys. We were just out in the yard talking, and I wanted to find out the Rockets, when did they start out? Okay, and who did so-and-so? And some of the guys would tell me that their dads played. They played over at the old fairground where on Red Road, where it's not the Zurich.
Magnatech.
Yeah, Magnatech. Okay, used to be.
And then it was many different names during that time, but yeah, I know.
But that
what
used to be
you're
the
talking
fairground.
about.
They
Yeah.
used to play ball over there. Down on the Bersheba, down near the bridge there was a place cut out to play there. The old manufacturing company on Sparta Street. We have a Dollar General and everything in that area now, but there used to be a field there to play. And, I found out, I researched all the way back to 1930. In the 30s, where some of the guys had, their dads pitched and everything. And so I thought that was really neat.
And most people probably don't realize, even to this day, Rocket Park exists, and you will see in the newspaper events that's still held there today. I know that, like he was explaining earlier, that wasn't, some people like I thought that was the only park that they played in, but that was just as the later times that they actually played there, right?
Back in '56, there was discussion about playing because they didn't have a place to play. And so the staff and everything went to the city then and asked for a place. And they actually got it down there by the river. And they cleared out the lumber and everything. And the field used to be down. There was a emergency squad down there by the water plant at that time. And they cleared all that out. And they started down at that end. But the building originally now is in left field. So that's where our left field was. Okay. So that's where it is now. And yeah, these were good times. These were times when Saturdays and Sundays and holidays that people had things to look forward to. I don't care whether you were going out of town or what. If we were going out of town to a ball game, we would load up on a bus or two buses, and other people would drive, and we would go back and forth. There are numerous places that we've gone. We've gone to Huntsville, Alabama before. We've gone to Nashville. We've gone Chattanooga. There's about 70 different places that I have listed that we've played.
Ain't that something? That is awesome. And I guess throughout the history, there has been, there ain't no telling what the number of players that has come and gone that has played in Warren County. I guess it would be hard to really number the amount of people that's played on the team, right?
It is very hard to do that, but there is one good thing that we've got going so far. We have one young man, his name is Lester Strobe, and he is the pitching coach for the Chicago Cubs now.
Okay.
He played with the Rockets.
Okay.
We had Jerry Martin. He also helped with the high school in baseball, and he played with the Texas Rangers. And we had Gary Cope that played with Los Angeles. So, yeah, as far as, history, we've had some guys to go and try and so forth. Even I tried out for the Cardinals, but
really?
I didn't make it at that time. I wasn't good enough, I guess, so.
That is awesome. I know. See, that's stuff that most people don't realize whenever you go to finding out history, and especially when we're looking at the black history here locally in Warren County. I know that there's tons more stories, important folks. Whenever we start talking about key people in the black history of Warren County, who's some of the folks that comes to mind?
Well, one of the main ones. He's had his day, and we've got somebody a little bit over him now, President Obama, but Carl T. Rowan was Assistant Secretary of Secretary of State when JFK was president, and then President Johnson. And he was also Ambassador of Finland.
Yeah.
So, and he was a writer, he was a journalist, so he had his reputation during his time.
And some folks may not realize that he come from McMinnville, and actually still to this day you can actually see the history marker located towards East Main Street. It still stands today, and every year they still do a program at that site, I believe, still, and the accomplishments that Mr. Rowan had, and I'm sure that we can do a whole show just on the accomplishments that he had, the history that he had, and that's one figure. What do you think did that help the black history locally, him being a person who made it so far, or was some of that sort of discarded or maybe not really promoted like someone else might have been during that time range?
I'm only speaking for me. That helped me tremendously because where I came from, the city, and then coming here to the country, then I saw some of the things, some of the problems that he had. Coming from the city, being able to ride on the front of the bus, and then come here, you couldn't ride on the front of the bus. You couldn't go to a certain bathroom in the courthouse and so forth. So he experienced those things, and I felt quite a bit of that. But the majority of the people with Bernard School, we had some fantastic teachers there at that school.
Yeah.
That was a real turning point for a lot of people here.
Okay. Well, hold on to that thought because we're about to run out of time for right now. Bernard School is going to be one of our discussions when we return. I know that some folks may have some very fond memories of that school, and a lot of the history, you can't just ride down the road and say, there it is, because a lot of the history is gone, and so it's important that we capture some of these moments. We will continue with more Community Spotlight with the topic of black history when we return in just a moment.
Accommodations has been made by the 3-Star Mall.
You know, Security Federal Savings Bank recently celebrated serving the people of this area for 50 years. That's quite an accomplishment, and we want you to know that we look forward to serving you and your family for at least 50 more. We're proud to be the friendliest bank in town and invite you to come see us with any banking need you have. 3 convenient locations stand ready to assist you with all of your banking needs. Come by soon and let us know how we can serve you. We're Security Federal Savings Bank, member FDIC.
You want the bottle?
My sister told me to come over and check on the baby.
He's fine, thank you. How'd you get to a fire? Sundrop. It's really that good.
At Old South Carpets, it's all about quality flooring at reasonable prices. With a wide range of carpet and vinyl in stock and any type of flooring you want, we can get it. We are home-owned and home-operated with over 50 years experience serving Warren and surrounding counties. Come by and see us at Old South Carpets, 309 Garfield Street. Or for a free estimate call us at 473-5764.
We continue the Community Spotlight. I'm Jonathan Womack, your host, and we have as our guest Mr. Wayne Wolford, who is going through some of the history, local black history of Warren County, and we sort of got in the discussion of many different aspects of black history. Then we sort of talked about Bernard School. Explain to folks who may be watching who doesn't even know what Bernard School was or where it was at.
Okay, Bernard School is located right off of Beersheba Street now. It's known as Beersheba. And urban renewal came through and kind of changed things around. But Bernard School was basically set up in 1921. And it was because the children, the black children at that era, didn't have a sufficient facility to learn in. Before that time, there were schools and churches around, all surrounded, Marston, Irving College, so forth. Every community around here had a church, and kids went to school there. But after a time, they started coming into the city for Bernard School. And Bernard had from kindergarten to 12th grade. And Bernard had been burned down. It was down around Egypt Alley the second time around. And then the third time around in 46 or 47, some of the school got burned where it's located now, Bernard Drive. And so a lot of the kids had to go to Eastern Drive Church of Christ and St. Mary's Church in order to have the classes, conduct classes until the school was refurbished. Then after that was done, integration came, and this was around 1964, 65. And then then the schools were not segregated anymore, and Bernard was more for younger preschool, I think. And then after a while, when urban renewal came through, they said, well, let's do this.
Right.
So we did get to keep the gym, thank goodness.
Ain't that something? Now, even to this day, doesn't the city own the property there, or what? How exactly?
The city owns it because there's a water treatment, but the water treatment staff and all.
Okay, and that park that's behind there, is that the old playground, or is that where some of the school actually sat?
That was part of the playground and part of Ray Roberts' croquet yard. I don't know if you remember Ray Roberts or not, but yes, that was a croquet yard there, and the old gentleman used to go down there and play croquet all the time, and I mean we could even see him from the schoolyard there. So yeah, there was a long sidewalk there, and there was a swing there, and I want to say up closer near the school there was a merry-go-round, but yeah, that was just basically the front of the school there.
I know that you have been you've basically lived in some different places. St. Louis is where you come from originally, or not St. Louis, but
well, from Alton, Illinois, but I live in St. Louis quite
very
a bit.
Close.
Yeah.
I know that the time range that you from coming from a place like that to here. What was the experience that you had during those times of segregation and so many things changing? I mean, how can you sort of lay that down into history as far as your experience?
When I look back now, at the age I am now, I can respect everything that happened. Mm-hmm. Even though this is the way it was then. This is the way it was then, it's the way it is now. We have to learn how to live in our time frame. Mm-hmm. If we live back in the past, we're in trouble. Mm-hmm. Because we're moving on now.
Right.
So yes, when I came here and had to go to the courthouse and I wanted some water, well, I couldn't drink out of this fountain. I had to drink out of this fountain. When I wanted to go to the bathroom, I couldn't go to this clean bathroom. I had to go to this dirty bathroom. When I went to the bus station, same thing. If I wanted to sit somewhere, I couldn't sit in this area here. I had to sit in this area here. Yeah. That's the way it was. And you had to learn that's the way it was where you were. In St. Louis, I could get on the bus and go where I want to, go in front of the stores and everything, Denny Moore's, here at Denny Moore's. Yeah. Our people had to go in the back and order your hamburger and then take it with you.
Ain't this something?
So that's the way it was then. Mm-hmm. We've come a long way.
We've come a long way. And for folks, I know my generation, we talked a little bit this off camera, most of my generation don't remember nowhere near what was happening during that time. But even, and this will probably carry on, unfortunately, because there's different people, different makeup. Racism still exists today.
Oh, yeah.
I know that we even got in the discussion of, I asked Wayne off camera, and I like to ask you on camera, the recent election of Barack Obama. Did you ever think that you'd ever see a day where you'd see a black president and see him actually take the office and now, the job that he's standing to do to all of America, the opportunity that lays there? Did you ever think you'd ever see this day?
No, I didn't. Even though Mandela spent all his time in jail in South Africa, and all the time he spent there, and then got out and got to be president of Africa. That was unreal. And then for it to turn around and get here, because everybody's saying, this time frame, we're not ready yet. This time frame, we're not ready yet. When do you get ready?
Yeah.
But I am so proud of this. I mean, I couldn't tell my sons. I have 2 sons. I couldn't even say, okay, one of these days, maybe you'll be president. Maybe, I'm thinking maybe another couple of 100 years, Well, they shouldn't be around another couple of 100 years,
Right.
So
Ain't that something?
So yes, I'm very proud of this situation, and like I told you before, I've had people come to me and ask me, is this president going to be a good president? And I said no, and I'd wait and I'd pause, and they'd look at me funny, and I said no, he's going to be a great president.
Yeah.
I really feel that.
Yeah, and so from the aspect of knowing, it isn't like it's just been years today since you've been elected. Has this made you more eager to sort of follow, what he's doing and how he's trying to help America and maybe change the economy? And I know a lot of people is worried to death about the economy. Has it made you sort of follow closer to this?
Oh, it's definitely made me follow closer, because I like working with youth. And a lot of the youth were involved. Mm-hmm. The time where we went to the gas pumps, and I'm American, and you're American. Mm-hmm. And we used to I remember, I'm telling my age now, I remember when I could get gas for 25 cents a gallon. And here I am pumping it for $4.50.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that
Right,
picture,
right.
And so when it affects the younger people, they got interested too. Mm-hmm. And so what we wanted to do, we wanted to get America together again. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that this president is going to be one that's going to get us together. I'm still physically able to play basketball on Sundays and Wednesdays. And we have groups from 16 on up to 70 that run with us. Okay. What we do is we teach the sportsmanship and all this good stuff. Now, the concept is that what you try to do is you have to point them try to point them in the right direction.
Well, Wayne, we want to thank you once again. I know I've told you this. I appreciate your service to our country, your service to the community, and all the wonderful things that you do. Also, the continued progress of you sustaining the black history of this community. I'm so excited for being able to work with you in the future with some project that we've already got sort of rolling. So more to come from Wayne, and we want to make sure that we invite you to come back and be a part of another edition of Community Spotlight. And if you have any comments, or if you know of some history of Warren County that or McMinnville that we haven't mentioned, we would like to hear from you. Maybe you've got some unique pictures and that can be a very, very valuable asset to us. Give us a call at 259-1193, or you can email us at communitynews@bltv.net. Wayne, thank you so much.
That's right.
We'll have Wayne back on again, because the time just don't allow us to get all the way through what we need to go through when it comes to black history. I want to thank you for being a part of this show. I'm Jonathan Womack. This has been another edition of Community Spotlight.